Welcome to Acquired Taste Podcast. We are back. It's your boy Dirty D.
It's your boy Tech Daddy. And we got some friends with us again. We got the usual suspects, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
We got Ben and John back.
Hell yeah.
Everybody. Ben and John, what's
Can't
up?
prove shit.
Well, you just said something, so we know that you're here now.
That was the usual suspect part.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, you're right.
Ben's always the usual substance. I mean, like he looks like a sketch artist drew him.
Do you want to try any of those syllables again?
No,
Got that one.
one take.
That is true. We, as people have probably gathered by now, we have never cut out anything from our episodes.
No.
You get what you get.
Absolutely not.
It's quantity over quality.
I don't think we have a lot of quality.
Speak for your motherfucking self.
That's right, baby. Just like Old Dirty Bastard. We like it raw.
Oh, baby, we like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yay, shimmy, yo. Anyways, welcome to Acquired Taste Podcast. We do a lot of history talk. If you're new here, we appreciate you guys checking us out. If you are a returning listener, we appreciate you. We thank you for your support. We've been growing, and it's because of you and the new people. So for everybody, you get 4 kisses. Yeah, Brady's not here today, so.
What the fuck was that?
I'm holding it down.
Yeah, he got it.
Could you just fucking live a little?
Wait. So Brandy normally does the forehead kisses. Can you imagine
No, it's both of us that do it. Me and Brandon
Yeah, both of us.
simultaneous.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, imagine jumping on a podcast expecting Brandy and you get this.
I got you, dog.
That's the stance of Tinder. The stance Tinder has right now.
Oh, jeez.
Dang.
This shows
I'll
up.
have you know, I am not on Tinder.
Oh, I know you're not. I'm just saying. You get one image like John said, and it just what's with the mustache?
Tinder fucking wishes.
Dude, I have never tried online dating. Actually, I've been trying to stay away from it, man.
Really?
Never tried it. Never once.
You should. It's fun. You never know if you're gonna wake up with all your kidneys or an extra.
Where were they putting it at? I don't want to know the answer to that. Actually, let me not ask too many questions about this.
You know, fun fact: when you get a kidney transplant, I only found this out a couple of years ago. They don't take them out.
It's a pizza.
No, you get a third.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Okay,
So,
they don't take the old one out. Right.
Yeah, the person donating obviously loses it, but the person receiving the donation, they have 3 kidneys.
I can imagine someone just needing
The more you know.
multiple kidney transplants.
Required Taste Podcast.
Like a fucking dozen kidneys shoved up.
Were you an Invader Zim fan?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Oregon episode?
Oh God, that was so weird.
Oh, it was so
that was
bad.
so weird.
So bad. Oh,
That
nightmare
haunted
fuel.
me.
Nightmare
That
fuel.
Haunted me.
Yeah.
That show was fucking phenomenal.
Oh, the
I love that
show was fantastic, but that was dark even for that show.
Oh, that was real weird, dude.
Yeah.
That was a real weird episode. Like that one when they had the pimple. That was
Oh,
that would hypnotize people.
yeah, Pastulio. I'll never
Pastulio.
fucking forget it.
Stare into a studio. They hit it and start moving and shit.
There's a good
was
group of
hypnotic.
listeners who think we have just fucking lost it. I don't know, man. They started talking about a pimple that hypnotized people.
All right, most of our audience, according to Spotify, the majority of our audience is our age group and maybe a little bit older.
Especially after DJ pissed off the older ones at one time.
Yeah, well,
That one time?
That one time.
I
You're
love
right.
how I'm the one who's upsetting people. Like,
You-
I've said the worst things on here.
You literally said,
All right.
fuck you old bitches. Yeah, I was specifically you.
Are you quoting me on that?
As close as I can.
Okay, that may or may not have happened. Perhaps I plead the fifth.
So looking at the Spotify stats, though, 70% of our listeners are between the age of 28 and 44, which is a good chance they know about Invader Zim.
That's fair.
Healthy chance.
I'd put money on that.
There's a show I
Just
never
as
watched.
deranged as us.
You didn't watch a lot of cartoons when you were a kid.
No, not really.
So that's not surprising to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, you were going to the mall. So, it
Oh yeah, I've
so-
seen plenty of Invader Zim.
right, because,
I'm
it was
familiar.
all over.
Hot Topic.
Hot Topic.
There you go. I wanted to say
Hot
Spencer's,
Topic
but yeah.
and Spencer's. I guess.
Spencer's,
too.
yeah.
Hot Topic was the one I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I've spent many times
For a
in
lot.
dollars in Hot Topic. Back when Hot Topic was still the spooky place.
Yeah, dude.
When it was still a scary store to go into.
Lot of
That was
wristbands.
just, dude. I still have a shoebox of my armbands.
Yeah.
I have them all.
Oh man.
I still have them all.
Belt buckles, studded
I found 'em.
belts. Yeah.
Oh, dude. I found mine. I can't fit anymore. I got fat. So it's for the best. it's for the
It's
best.
for the best.
So I got rid of those. My Jinko jeans. I'm like, I'm gonna retire those. Just go ahead and go into the ether.
I wore Dickies like all through fucking school, pretty much.
I wore Dickies as I got older, but I was a Jinko jean person when I was younger for sure.
Yeah. I didn't like denim. I didn't like the way it felt.
Wore,
Didn't like,
wore-
like it on my skin.
I wore Wranglers first, then Levi's, and I think I went back to Wranglers.
I fuck with Wranglers.
Yeah.
Wranglers.
I believe that. Anywho, so like I said before at the beginning, if you're new to the podcast, we typically tend to BS a little bit in the beginning of our episodes before we actually get to the meat and potatoes of what we're actually talking about today, or any day for that matter. But yeah, if you're new, stick around. I think you will enjoy our banter a little bit. We usually just use to break the ice a little bit and get the juices flowing, if you will. The juices loose. We start with a question. Normally, DJ has a question, but this time he has failed us. So what you got, Ben?
There's a squirrel.
You had one job.
God,
This is why I have the blinds closed. This is why my window's always closed. We're recording, and it's like 72 outside, so I have the window behind, like the giant window behind me open, and Ben's just looking outside at a squirrel, apparently. There are several squirrels that live outside of my house.
It was the most peaceful moment I've had in my 37 years.
That's why I sit outside all the damn time. I'm out there looking at nature. It's wonderful. Damn it.
No, the question I had cooked up is, and I want to try to be as specific and general at the same time. So this is going to be a dicey needle to thread. When we're talking about supervillains rather,
Okay.
from our childhood, so the ones that were on the DC and Marvel, or if it was even Marvel at the time,
It was.
animated shows,
Yeah, they had a couple.
the way in X-Men, the way we knew those supervillains. What supervillain, and this is because I pick on you all the time, what supervillain do you think is most likely to wear wire?
Ooh. So most likely to wear a wire.
Yeah, so we're talking Mark Hamill's Joker,
Okay.
the Lex Luthor of that time, Magneto of that time, again,
You know
all the
what?
shows that we grew up with.
I got one. That was actually easier than I thought it would be. I'm going out of the superhero realm. There's still the cartoons of the era. I'm going Transformers with that one. Dude, Starscream. All day with wear wire. He would be a stitch and a half. He would stitch on everybody. He would stitch on everybody. So yeah, Starscream is mine.
That's a solid pick.
I thought you were going to say because they're fucking Transformers and covered in wires.
Go out with the squirrel.
Okay. Worth it.
hell yeah.
All right, what do you guys got? What are you thinking? What do you feel?
I mean, like, I wasn't super big into superheroes when I was younger, but I would say definitely Lex Luthor. Like,
Okay.
I didn't really, like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he was going to wear a wire as long as it benefits him.
Okay. He does become president in the comic books too, so I can kind of see that.
I recall that.
Yeah, President Lex when he declared war against
Wasn't
Superman.
Norman Osborn too? Or no, he ends up heading up the Avengers
I don't remember
in
that.
some reality.
I was never a
seeing
Marvel kid. I was more of a
it.
DC.
Same, but yeah, I remember
what I was
seeing
saying.
it.
Yeah. What you got, Deej?
Man, I probably have to go X-Men, and I think he's kind of good guy and bad guy. But Nightcrawler, I think he'd be a snitching ass bitch.
Damn, dude.
I think he likes to flip sides. You know? Yeah, I think he.
I would say like Mystique maybe, but like Nightcrawler though, that's.
Mystique, not so much. He's got some kind of morals, I guess, a little bit. Nightcrawler.
I don't think so at all. Anyway, so
There's like
teach your
different
own.
errors.
Teach
You
your
know,
own.
there's
I
different
can-
eras of Mystique and Nightcrawler, though,
Sure.
to where you could.
I'm not gonna shit on your parade today.
Yeah.
At least not about this topic. I'll ruin something
Because
else.
most of the villains that I like, they wouldn't snitch. Like,
Yeah.
I love Juggernaut, you know, and he ain't telling shit on nobody.
Yeah.
None out of him. So, like, I don't really know who to pick besides, like, you know,
Counter-
X-Men is my biggest frame of reference for that.
You know, speaking of X-Men though, and I realized this as an adult, dude, Professor X was kind of a fucking dick. And here's why I say that. Because think about like how he has the power to like get in your mind and fuck with your brain and shit like that. Like, so of course, like Magneto wears a helmet to protect himself from, Charles's mind control and all shit. You know what he does to Magneto every time he fucks with him though? He shows a picture of the Holocaust. He
Takes him back to Auschwitz.
Every fucking time. He does.
Hey, you remember the greatest tragedy in human history?
That you
Remember how you were a part of that?
Specifically your history.
Right.
You seem like
Every
you're doing
time.
good. You seem like you've moved on.
Just like Juggernaut. Like Juggernaut was his brother, and I'm pretty sure he showed him like images of him being abused as a child. Like, dude, Professor X was a dick, man.
It's like people don't forget.
Dude, like I have that no leg having ass motherfucker, man.
If I had to be crippled, you're going to be crippled in fear and pain.
Right, dude. Again, that's why Juggernaut wore a helmet to protect himself. Like, well, that was part of his powers too, but still, like he had to protect himself from his brother being an awful human being.
Yeah, it's a dick move. I agree with that.
I feel like
Often, I do.
I feel like every X-Men like supervillain could have just like worn a helmet. Like I feel like that's the theme that's growing there. Just everyone who shows up, helmet.
Like tinfoil hat, check. Fuck you, Charles.
God damn it. Why don't you take your hat off? Why don't you fuck off?
Right. How about you walk to me then? Step up, bitch. Anyways, that's my thing. I'm glad we talked about that. I have to get off of my chest.
Hell yeah.
You were carrying that for a while.
I was in my heart.
So my answer was very obvious. Two-Face.
Ah. Aha.
Hands down. Where, why
Yeah.
are Ambi conflicted about it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
fuck. That's a good point.
That is a good one.
Shit.
Yeah, I didn't think about that one. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Starscream, my immediate, my first
And
one.
that's
Like,
not outside cartoons, though. I mean, that's in that era of cartoons.
Right, right.
So, I mean, you were saying you're going outside of it, but you're right there.
snitched ass. I hate that guy. I hate Starscream. Like, such a
They
bitch.
picked the best voice.
Oh, they
The
did.
best voice.
They did because they want you to hate him. They made him easily hateable.
Very.
Good job. Good job.
Very.
They chose wisely.
It's like when
Mission accomplished.
it's like when the teacher's pet ends up in middle management. That's Starscream. Best.
Because he
Have you filled out your annual review?
Get your TPS reports.
jeez.
I uncovered a lot of feelings for everybody.
You just thought about the damn filling out my freaking review, my performance review. I hate doing those. I hate doing it. It is your job to evaluate me, not me evaluate me. Get out of here. Just sign off on it.
That actually leads me to my second backup question I had prepared.
What's up?
Hell yeah. Let it roll.
I was going to say this one for much further in life.
Well,
But what form of work small talk at work, will allow you to commit a war crime?
Oh fuck! Every single time. All right, so I used to work in an office. I'm getting like bed level right now. I'm like bed level of I'm starting to sweat. Like,
I can see it. I'm slightly scared. Little aroused, mostly scared.
So I used to work in an office, corporate America. I've been working in corporate America for quite some time now. But dude, every Monday, the happy Monday while I'm getting my morning coffee.
Ooh,
The happy Monday.
That's a good
happy
one.
Monday. I will end your family line right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got one now. Now you say
Go
that.
for it.
Yeah. Are we having fun yet? I fucking hate that one, dude. And like they look at you and smile like they're waiting for fucking. Did you hear what I said?
you want like?
Did you hear?
Like you won't do nothing.
I fucking hate it.
My two worsts are one, when you sign into the fucking Teams call, and like I have my camera and
Failed
my
already.
mic muted off, and I don't want to talk to you. And someone's like, "Hey man, so you guys staying busy over there?" Or some bullshit. Like, don't talk to me. I have my shit muted for a reason. Like, if I unmute it, you can talk to me. If it's muted, shut the fuck up. And the other one is like, every time you bring up like an issue or concern that like the entire group is feeling, and the fucking manager just goes on a tirade about like, we just need to work on like communication and building bridges and really keeping being deliberate about our end I'm like, you're saying nothing. you're
Yeah.
saying nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing-
corporate bullshit.
Nothing is going to change. I will
terrible.
fucking body slam you into the ground. You are a piece of shit manager. Do not talk to me.
It's funny because I could picture, I pictured the Happy Monday dude. I pictured him in my head as I talked about it.
Yeah.
I do not miss him.
See, I never have to deal with that because I've been at my job for so long, and like most of the guys that work there have been there longer than me. I've
Sure.
been there fucking 10 years, you know. And I have a thing like if there's new employees, I don't even speak words to these motherfuckers. I don't even look at you for 90 days, like because they're just gonna get fucking quit or fired or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So it is very minimal. I get like banter.
I've
like
known
that
you
at
for
work.
years. I'm not convinced you look at me.
Because you can't see more than a couple feet in front.
So
Accurate.
mine, you skirted around it, though I don't think it's a specific one for you. You're using it in generality. And mine is, are they keeping you busy? Are you staying busy? You guys busy? Any variation of that? And generally what I want to say back is, why do you fucking care? Are you losing sleep at home? Person whose name I do not know, that Ben's not getting enough hours. Or enough is being done over there. This person, I'm not done. This person that I have never met a day in my fucking life. You may as well have said or asked me what I thought about the weather. You guys staying busy? Shut the fuck up. No, you have never had a coherent thought in your life.
What is going to be your response if I say no?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to use that next time somebody asks
Exactly.
me that. But actually, no, not at all.
no.
I don't
I'm
fucking.
chilling.
No,
I don't do anything. I don't work here.
That's a good nap.
I was just gonna say, you interrupted my nap, you fuck. Are they keeping you busy? Shut the fuck up.
I hope that our listeners that are enjoying this are because I feel like most people nowadays working if you don't work from home and you work in like some kind of office environment, you've heard all of these, or like some kind of factory or work around people. You've heard one of these before. If you want to murder them,
so-
we don't. I'm not telling you to murder them. I'm saying I get it though.
It's so fucking stupid. It is so stupid. They're keeping you busy. Why? Why? Are you gonna pray for me? Are you gonna pray for me when you get home?
Man,
Yeah.
Oh, it irks me.
I'm all for like conversation when it like comes up naturally and you actually have a conversation, but when it's just like every time your boss talks to you, like how are things going at home or this and that, I'm like, it doesn't matter what I say.
Oh man.
my
Does not matter.
It's funny because like
I killed my dog yesterday. Like I could say anything and it's
Right.
just
Yeah.
not gonna.
They're just gonna nod at
my
Oh, okay.
because
okay.
I work from home and I've worked for this company for about 2 years now, and I've been working from home since the beginning. Other than my actual professional photo, they have no idea what I look like, and they have no idea my life at all. So I'm thankful I get away from all of that. They have nothing to ask me about. It's wonderful.
I do want to throw an exception out there. Somebody probably just heard me say I kill my dog. I love my dogs. They're spoiled fucking around.
I just thought
I'm
of
not a
funny-
psychopath.
I just thought of some like bullshit banter I experienced last week. That accident that was on 8094.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
under the semi one.
yeah, so we were like, getting out in the locker room, getting out, changed, get ready to leave work, and one of the new dudes who is like 5'3", if he's wearing his fucking boots, real little dude, and he's just one of those dudes where every time you walk past him, he has to say something.
Oh god.
Oh, he can't just fucking walk past
The
me.
worst thing about people is that they talk.
Yeah, he just has to, and
And the
usually-
irony of being on a podcast is not lost on me.
and usually when he says something, it's just like, fucking couple more hours to go, it's just something stupid like that, So we were in the, the locker room talking about it, and this dude, Dennis, was like, he was like, oh yeah, the radio said it's going to be backed up, and if it's a Chicago station saying, it's going to be backed up, and we were just kind of like bullshitting banter, and then the dude, this little dude, was like, I don't even know why he thought this was like relevant, but he's like, what's up with Indiana trying to be Chicago? New Chicago? East Chicago? And like it was just silent after that. We were just like the way I stared at him, I was like, and like my face was just like, just shut up, just shut up.
Did he just discover Jerry Seinfeld?
I was-
Yeah,
Or
it was the
What
What
is
is
he's
up
gonna
with all
try
this
it out.
traffic?
like if you imagine
God.
everybody's like, the lockers, we're facing our lockers,
Yeah.
and he's washing his hands, and everybody turned around. We were just like no fucking words, no nothing.
Red Channel.
That was like the feeling. Like we just want to like
If
get
you
the
dodge
hell
a-
out of here.
If you can dodge a red, shut the fuck up.
I hope it was like 5 to 10 minutes of silence, and then just the next words that were said was, I hope you learned something from this.
He scurried out of there.
Did he come back?
He scurried out. No, he was washing his hands when he said that.
the next day.
Oh yeah, he came
Damn
back.
it.
Yeah. Yeah,
If that guy's listening,
he
fuck
does
you.
call off a lot. Yeah, fuck that dude if he's listening, but he does call off a lot. So that's why I don't respect you. I don't get your name. Your first 90 days,
there you
fuck
go.
off. Eat my fucking balls.
There you go.
No way.
There it is.
Yep. Well, I think we're warmed up.
How long have we been going?
20 minutes.
Holy shit.
We got a little revved up. A little too
2
much
minutes there.
there. We almost
We
got
usually
in the
try to
red.
take around 15 minutes. I mean, that's only 5 minutes over, which for the four of us, not bad.
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna
Not bad.
start asking angry questions more.
Yeah, we're getting in the red.
Yeah, I started
You know,
sweating a little bit, man. I'm fine now.
Back
The
it
one-
off a little bit.
The
you
one
know.
last thing I want to say, DJ, you weren't here yet, but when I brought this up, but for those that are in Indiana, after the Heydrich Brothers episode we did, I took my sisters down to a place in Terre Haute called Candles Holocaust Museum in Terre Haute, Indiana. Not terribly far, about 2 hours away from Northwest Indiana if you live here. And it's a place you should 100% check out. And had a good time there. Was good of a time as you can with the Holocaust.
Yeah.
But
I really need you to rephrase that. There were 22 people mad about that episode. I need you to rephrase that.
those 22 people can go to hell. But no, yeah, good museum. It's small building, but a lot to learn, and not terribly far.
Right on. Was it free or?
No, I think I paid $7 for all three of us,
So if
Oh, that's not
or
bad.
something like
I
that.
think
Yeah,
I
that's
remember
cool.
you talking about this beforehand because they were not educated from school about the Holocaust. So
Right.
that was like a big incentive for
Yeah,
you to be
it
like,
was-
That's wild.
you know.
It's criminal.
That's
Yeah.
so
It's
wild.
fucking criminal. How do you have a voting base that doesn't know anything about the Holocaust, Nazis, communism? There's the word. Anything in the last century.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
And again, and they know I'm never attacking them. It's not their fault what they weren't taught.
Oh yeah, no, of course
And,
not.
and same with any of the youth nowadays, but it was
The youth.
criminal. the youth,
God,
but
we're
no,
so
they
old.
weren't taught that. And it was the last episode that we were on where I asked them something about it. I forget what it was because I was just absolutely floored by the response. And I asked them something about it, and their response is what made me ask, like, what did you guys learn about the Holocaust or Nazis or anything in school? And well, nothing really. Like, do you know what a Nazi is? Do you know what do you know what any of these words mean? No, not really.
Wow, and how old are they?
The oldest is out of high school. She's 18. And the youngest,
Wow.
the youngest just turned, the oldest just turned 19. And the youngest turned 17 in December.
Wow.
And they know nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy,
I
man.
thought you were going to say like fucking 12
No.
and 13 or something.
No.
Yeah, like that's,
no.
when you first said that, I thought that's like maybe like adolescents. Okay, that makes sense.
That's
Sure,
way
like,
crazy.
but yeah, that way
Awful.
worse now.
Like,
That
one
makes
of-
it
like,
so
one
much
of-
worse
One of them can vote. The other one's going to be able to vote in December.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything, and they don't know anything about what came before them.
Yeah.
Because of these really lackluster history teachers.
Man, that makes me want to call my niece right
Dude,
now.
and actually, thank you for saying that.
You know.
My if I have a message to anybody out there today, ask your kids what they're being taught. Don't turn on the TV. Ask your kids what they're being taught, or more importantly, what they're not being taught.
I'm gonna circle back to the angry conversations at the office. Kids always complain about their parents being like, "What'd you learn at school today?"
And that's fair. That's fair, but it's their fucking roof, so you answer their
dude.
fucking hand.
Dude, I remember doing like a full fucking book report on Joseph Mengele in the 7th grade.
So
you know.
the museum, I'm just gonna say it, the museum was actually founded by a lady that one of the twins that he experimented on.
Wow.
And
Oh, that's crazy.
She
Yeah.
settled. You saw
Because
this.
they were like switching bones
Yeah,
and shit. like
we
that.
all saw this woman through the 90s and the 2000s
Yeah.
on every History and Discovery Channel network
Yeah, totally.
No shit.
show. You saw this woman because we were there and like, why is this lady look so familiar?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and then she mentioned being twins, and I know exactly.
Oh yeah, that's who you're talking about.
I know exactly who this is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
her museum. She settled
Oh,
with her
oh,
husband
shit.
in Terre Haute after she came from Israel.
Huh.
Yeah.
All the way to Indiana, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Right
And
on.
Timothy McVeigh died there too.
Right on.
But yeah, but by no means are we I'll say accurate podcast. I'm gonna bet.
I think we're free factual though.
I'm gonna say 50-50.
You speak for your side.
Right, dude, yeah. Like I'm actually pretty good at my research,
I
man.
study for days.
Right.
You studied today.
I make up all of my notes. I just wing it. But
I'm here to learn.
by all means,
You're supposed to learn before you get here.
listen, get angry at us, and then go
Yeah.
learn about it.
Oh yeah, there's definitely more. I mean, we give a brief overview, I'd say, about it. There's more details to learn about than what we bring up here. But
It's a primer. That's what we do.
yeah, hopefully get
It's
people
a primer.
interested in the subject to learn more about it on their own.
Which
Yeah.
today's going to be the best example of that.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
actually transition into that because we.
Hey, tonight.
Oh goddamn!
You know what? I was working on an Irish accent. Pretty much,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
just use the H in front of any word,
Yeah,
You're
and that's
pretty close.
And that's another thing. Fuck the both of you for the mythical creatures one. All right, I ain't Irish. I ain't fucking
I didn't
Irish.
say that.
I'm
That
not
was
sure.
him. I never said you were Irish.
I thought you were Scottish.
Yeah, you're correct.
I knew you were
knew that.
Scottish. I never once said
Yeah,
you were
same
Irish in
thing.
that episode.
I've known that
You're
forever.
right. The accent is what's making me think that you were guilty. Your
I was
inability
trying to figure out how to do the Irish,
Yeah.
and it ended up being
I
Scottish.
knew what you were this
This
entire
fucking
time.
guy.
Oh, that is just Sean.
They're all the same.
Go over there and tell them that.
Yeah, right.
That's our segue. So
There we go.
Hey, I have real
Actually-
good odds that I'm not gonna die.
You know, it's actually kind of what we're talking about, like, learning stuff in school. The reason why I knew about this topic was because of school, though. Like, so I was in college at IUN, and my professor, he was Dr. Briggs is his name. He probably still teach there. If you do go to IUN, if you are interested in history at all, Dr. Briggs, amazing teacher. I learned so much from that man. Anyways, he had a class, I think it was like 300 level class on the history of terrorism. It's a great class. And I actually have the book still, and I found my Bloody Sunday book today, so that's cool. Can read that again if I want.
You want
Anywho.
you want to imagine a fun experience? I took a history class in college too. The teacher openly admitted that he was a pacifist.
Okay.
And the book we used was written by a pacifist. It wasn't like a textbook. It was just like a book
Uh-huh.
written by a pacifist. And literally they tied everything back to blaming the U.S., which we're not a great country. I think we fucked up a lot. But like,
Sure, yeah.
they would go as far to say like Pearl Harbor was our fault.
we're a great country compared to the rest of this fucked up planet.
And just mind you, like a lot of times this is me coming from like military training, so I'd still be in uniform in class.
Just like, I'm like, huh?
We got in a lot of fights.
Well, that's part of what I hate about the modern education system too. But that's a whole nother debate, a whole other rant we can't not get into right now. We got to get into the meat of this because, like, fucking hell, that's a rant. I'm gonna start sweating again. Anyways,
Count me in.
next time,
Count me in. I'm bringing a folding chair for that stuff.
we can throw it. I appreciate
I'm
that.
gonna be. What's his face? That country singer that was throwing chairs.
Morgan Wallace?
Yeah, that guy. He was
yeah.
throwing chairs yesterday or
That's
something.
rock and roll, baby. That's what I'm fucking talking about.
I have no point of reference for this.
It's about time
Anyways,
somebody
we gotta
starts.
get on the damn topic. All of you, stop it.
Yeah, something about IRS or some shit.
Fucking hell. Anyways,
Potatoes.
Tax agents.
I just, Wheeze.
Hoity-toity.
Jesus, dude. All right, so today we are talking about
Hey, what are we talking about?
I guess you could call it the Troubles. I heard they hate that.
That's fine. They're over there and they're communists.
Some of them.
Yeah. Well, the ones that'll try to kill you, they're Marxists.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Anywho, so we're going to talk about the essentially the era that was referred to as the Troubles, the era of violence, if you will,
Sectarian violence.
involving the Irish versus the British, trying to reclaim their island from the British, or trying to maintain their island with the British. It's a lot. We're gonna get into it though, because we have a lot to talk about, and we don't want to keep you here forever at least. I don't want y'all to get the fuck out of my house. Anyways, so let's go back to the 12th century. Anglo.
We don't have enough road, Doc.
Anglo-Norman invasion of Ireland. So we're going back to the beginning of Ireland's. People were obviously there, but documented history of people being on the island. This is a time period where England was trying to expand. So think after Roman Empire, Anglo Empire is there trying to establish more territory, and it's a boat right away. It's right fucking there. So anyways, so they invaded. This is what kind of starts this whole history of Ireland being part of England and them trying to separate. Fast forwarding a bit, because I'm going to kind of fast forward through parts of history. There's a lot with this.
A lot.
So there was the 11 Years' War, aka the Irish Confederate War. Took place between 1641 and 1653. This was between Ireland, England, and Scotland under the rule of Charles I. Now, this is kind of where the big religious part of this kind of comes from, which is why I wanted to mention it. Irish Catholics versus British Protestants. This is going to be a very big theme throughout this entire story. Going to IRA, the entire story is going to be Protestants and Catholics not getting along.
Blind fucking hate.
Just straight up rage.
Fucking hate, dude.
You thought they're soccer games or something.
Well, there was one.
There is. Isn't there a team where it's both sides in the same country where there's a Protestant team and a Catholic team?
Yeah, in Ireland.
I would love to go to one of those fucking games.
Oh, dude, just man. I'm bringing brass. I'm
Just
bringing
be a hype man for both sides.
Hell yeah. You fucking Brett Thompsons.
Just sneak through.
fucking milk drinkers.
Just fucking full body armor the entire time.
Obviously.
I just switch hats and run to the other side.
Start throwing fists. It'd be great.
Drinking hot tea and then slightly hotter tea.
Right.
I just like the idea that DJ thinks he can blend in by switching hats, given it's like Catholics and Protestants and DJ's covered in fucking tattoos.
It's fine. It's fine.
I can. I believe I can.
Let them have the
Full
stream.
confidence.
So during the 11 Years' War, there was, like with most wars, especially back in this era, there's usually going to be famine and disease going on. And because of how many people died and poor documentation, really, between 200,000 and 600,000 people died due to famine and disease. Yep. So anyways, the Irish did not want the Protestants on their fucking land. And the Scottish Covenanters, whatever, their religion, which was different than both of theirs, were also there too. So this is like a war, religion, a lot of hate moving forward. Irish Rebellion of 1798. Again, there's a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
I'm skipping some time, but I'm just trying to make it all. Just give a time frame of
the history of it is what's deep. That's like
right.
all
It's
the
just
pre-shit.
hatred, like centuries of hatred.
The reason I like learning about the Troubles so much is everybody that likes to go on about Civil War and this, that, and the other don't understand how long some things can simmer.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah.
I feel like the whole Protestant and Catholic thing, like people, like you can't even go far back in their family lineage for them to understand why they're even fighting in the first place. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They're just born to hate Catholics, or you're born to fucking hate Protestants blindly for generations. Yeah.
Well, I mean, because think about it, you're in separate schools, separate households, separate sides of a wall, essentially, and you're taught from birth. Fuck them.
Yeah.
from
the jump.
And I mean, it wasn't just like, it was blind rage, but I mean, the Brits were pretty fucking terrible to these people. I mean,
totally.
The potato famine
100%.
and basically kicking the Irish out of homes and then inserting British families.
We're gonna get there.
Replacing
We're definitely gonna be getting there.
we
We're gonna catch up to that.
Un-Irish the Irish.
They tried.
You
Did
fucking
not
thought,
stick.
God damn it.
Did not fucking stick. So
I'm gonna wait. Go ahead.
yeah, but we gotta get to that point. So, Irish Rebellion of 1798, real quick about that. The United Irishmen launched a revolt against British rule in May of 1798. It didn't last very long. Essentially, the British forces completely crushed them. In about 5 months, 30,000 Irish men, women, and children died.
Ooh.
On both sides. Not just on the rebellion side. So it was, and there's going to be a lot of that too. So prepare yourself. Gonna be a lot of civilians dying in this whole story.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding again, 1916, World War I. This is the Easter Rising incident, or the Easter Rebellion, how you want to say it. It was April 1916. We just had Easter. So pretty much, Easter time. Bunnies. Some eggs.
We should throw in right before World War I was the Great Potato Famine, which was
Yes, actually, I did forget to write down a note for that. So yes,
yeah,
Potato famine. You guys want to chime in on that one?
Yeah, potato famine started from what would you call that?
British mismanagement.
I mean, yeah,
Oh no, they managed it exactly how they wanted.
yeah.
Man, what is it fucking
Managed to
called?
fuck it up.
The easiest way I had found to explain it was it wasn't that there was a shortage of food. It was just that the British took all the
No,
food.
it was-
They would impose these debts and these taxes on farmers, and then when the farmers couldn't pay it, the British would confiscate the land and give it to other English
It's
families.
essentially what the Soviets did to the Ukrainians.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
so
Yeah, a generation or two later.
it wasn't that there was not enough food or anything along those lines. It was that the British fucking took all of it. A lot of people equate the famine to like, hey, there was a disease and it killed off all the crops. No, it's just the British fucking took all the food.
Yeah, well, it was a late blight, so that's what it's called, a late blight. That's what started it. But yes, you are correct. They pretty much made it like impossible. Like I think it was 1/3 of their population was like completely wiped from the Great Potato Famine.
Yeah, a lot of them started to come to America during that time too. I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, it
that's
was,
what started that migration to America, the big migration to America.
It said 6.6 million people by 1851, and this is between 1844 and 1851.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot.
Well,
of fucking,
that's why you have so many Irish names in the Civil War.
Yeah.
yeah,
also.
and to think if you have
Yes.
Irish in you now, your
Yeah.
lineage survived.
Right.
Yep.
All the
And-
shit they went through with the potato famine, and now World War One. You know,
Yeah, well,
Yeah, and
even,
two.
and even before that, like you remember Gangs of New York and
Yeah.
everything, and they had the Irish immigrants coming in, and they come out one door and go into another after signing up at a recruiting
Yeah,
office.
yeah.
That was real. You know, I mean, it's stylized for the movie, but that is indicative of the times.
yeah.
Yeah, they went through a lot because through the history of the British fucking them, they come to America and then America fucking them. The British have been,
Yeah.
or the Irish have been through a lot.
And the potato famine was like the Irish imploding on themselves because they were like selling their fucking children, abandoning their families, like literally just cannibalism, all types of shit. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's yeah. Anyway, so moving forward again. So Easter Rising, Easter Rebellion. I'm sorry, I did forget to put the note in for the Irish potato famine. Thank you for covering that. April 1916. This one is the Irish Republicans versus the British rule in Ireland. What they did was they used World War One to stage a rebellion. They're like, well, the British are busy fighting trench warfare with the Germans. Let's fuck them up. This is our time. This is the perfect time for us to go in there and do some damage. The bad news is they weren't right. they were wrong on that one. So this rebellion lasted 6 days. It's a long rebellion.
Jesus Christ. I'm pretty sure Irish people are like derived from Vikings and some other type of French fucking warrior. Like they're kind of a mixture of like these two chaotic, crazy fucking fighters. Like, am I wrong about that?
Well, technically they were the Celts,
Right.
and they buttered up to the Germanic tribes, however you're supposed to
Yeah,
say it.
because
they're
they
not
were-
Germans,
Well, but they were against Rome.
yeah,
because they hated the Romans.
The Romans are what pushed. The reason we think of Celts as Irish is because the Romans are the ones that pushed them all the way to Ireland. And when Rome sacked Britain and everything, and they didn't. Oh God, I forgot about this. What's the joke? Like Rome didn't conquer Ireland not because they couldn't, but because they didn't want to. or something.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's the joke.
that was the joke. I'm sure there's some line of truth in there somewhere, but
Yeah.
yeah. God, I forgot. That was a core memory right there.
Yeah, it was.
And
I felt that.
Yeah, and the Celts got pushed because the Celts went from Spain all the way across what we know as Germany, and then the Germanic tribes. Again, you can't call them Germans, so I don't know how to pluralize that. But the Germanic tribes came.
Germany's.
No, it was Germanic tribes. It's fine.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Came from the east, so what would become Prussia, parts I think of the Low Countries, Belgium, Lithuania, all that. And through there, and then Rome just obliterated all of that.
Yeah, which is wild because the Celtic people had a very, very rich history that was completely destroyed.
Yeah,
completely wiped the fuck out. It's crazy.
The Library of Alexandria had them, essentially.
Wow.
Yeah, they burned their civilizations to the ground and wiped out every bit of their history from the record books. And like, there's not much. That's why there's so much mystery and mysticism around the Celts, because a lot of it's kind of just, well, we don't really know.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle that their language survived. As
right?
well as it did. Honestly.
Yeah, that's true. And we don't even know if that was the original either.
No, right.
So that's still kind of a guess.
I mean, whatever that language is that we know of, it's going to be heavily regional. Versus the Celts that made it to Spain or France, or that would have all been different. But anywho.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew more about the Celts than I thought.
Yeah, I actually wish we should probably cover them at some point because there's a lot of history with them, especially like their culture was very, very rich.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
No, that would be interesting
to get into
the pre-Europe.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that would be an interesting.
Yeah, because there's the whole thing with like we'll find like some of their shit underwater because like part of the land that they used to occupy was flooded,
right?
And we actually did have artifacts intact because it was flooded and it wasn't destroyed by the fucking Romans. Anyways, yeah, like water. Okay, the ocean was your best protection at this point because the Romans weren't having it.
Not through lack of efforts of the Romans.
Just stabbing the fucking ocean. Damn you!
Or whatever's Latin for that.
Damn it.
Damasus.
I promise there's an inverted V somewhere.
Oh, at least.
But
good times.
So yeah, Easter Rising.
Yes, so
Easter Rising.
Going back to that, so yes, it lasted for 6 days. What happened was they ended up taking over buildings in Dublin, and they proclaimed that area to be the Republic. It was a couple hundred of them.
Yeah, they made. You remember Chaz Chop up in Seattle during 2020, the whole autonomous zone.
No.
Oh man, you missed it. Yeah. That was interesting.
Were you asleep?
No. Oh, is this like that fucking like militia group that basically took over like a section of Seattle? Is that?
Yeah, someone call it militia, but
no, it was so this was during the pandemic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So and this is coming off of memory, so forgive me if I'm wrong on any part of this. So what happened was there was a group of people that took over an area of Seattle and said, "Fuck the government, this is our land now." And we're taking this over.
I do remember.
And they have their own government.
This.
They have their own police force.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. I did air quotes for that because they did not have one. They told the government, "Stay out of it. Please stay out of it." And I think it took them how many days to beg for help?
A whole couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it collapsed on his head.
The one thing the
2-3 days.
government's really good at is staying out of things when you tell them to stay out of things. They're very respectful.
Yeah, somebody got shot almost immediately and needed aid.
And then there was also the R word going around too about a few women that were in there too.
Was there?
Yeah, a couple essays. Yeah,
Yeah.
It almost took a few days, and all went to straight shit.
I'm not surprised.
Like I think like day one was like, yeah, this is cool. And then day 2 was just complete chaos.
Book of Eli.
Exactly.
Everyone's blind and has kukris.
I love that movie.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
Anywho, so
that's
imagine exactly this is the same kind of situation.
They made an autonomous zone.
But they had guns though.
That's what I was likening it to.
Yeah.
So these people that we're talking about during the Easter Rebellion, they had guns, so it's a little different. I believe there was only a couple hundred of them that were even a part of this, but I believe I did read something about there was a group of women that were part of it too, which is kind of tight. Like 2 in a room were like, "Fuck this shit, we got guns too," and join them. Like hell yeah, that's tight. Anywho,
this was kind of when like the Ulster. I'm gonna say it wrong every fucking time.
Ulster.
That
is Northern Ireland to locals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just important to say if we're going to start using the word Ulster.
Well, and that's what essentially it wasn't at that point that became, all right, rest of Ireland is Ireland, and then this section is Northern Ireland, and this will stay under UK.
Yeah.
That was about that time frame, right?
I believe so, because after that there was a peace treaty that was brokered to actually officially make that happen.
Yeah, and
years later after that. It was like years after this though.
Yeah, and there was
that's
some,
how you get the anti-treaty IRA.
Right.
There were some
Anglo-Irish treaty
issues with that, even among the Irish. Some of them were like, yeah, no, this is a stepping stone to become like our own country away from the UK. And the other ones were like, fuck that, we're not giving up an inch of ground.
Right.
Ireland or nothing.
And some people were okay advocating for home rule, which was an incorporated part of the UK. Which actually, just for the sake of defining it, because I don't think most people know, England is England. The UK, or I'm sorry, Great Britain is Scotland. It's Scotland and
Wales.
England together.
Well,
And
Scotland, Wales, and England.
it is Wales. I thought the UK is Wales.
Oh, wait, what did you say?
Cause just Great Britain.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just Scotland and England is
Yeah.
Great Britain, and the UK
It's
is
three.
England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, right.
That's
right,
what
right.
makes the UK. That is when you see the Union Jack flag. That is the nations involved. So all three of those things mean something, or something different. Words matter, but
I literally had no idea. I was just like,
Yeah.
all interchangeable.
no. If you look at, it's actually really cool, and that's the last compliment I'll give the British. If you look at the Union Jack and look at the flag, or look at the flags of all those countries, it's all those flags stacked on each other.
Oh.
So the Red Cross is England, the Blue Field is Scotland, something else is for Wales, something else is for,
It's
I forget,
Well,
but-
Wales isn't it green, white, and green, white,
and it might not be
and
all of
red?
it. Maybe.
Well, I know the creature in the middle of it's red.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the creature. So maybe it's not
Yeah.
all of them,
Right.
but what they could do.
God, is that a griffin?
I think so. That's where I was going to go with it.
I'm going to go with that in my head.
Yeah, but
Right on.
yeah. So it's just for the sake of words meaning things. That's when you're talking about the British, you can be talking about the English, but when you're talking about the English, you aren't necessarily talking about the British, and the other way around.
But yeah, no, that is an important part. Is they were okay with being like a kingdom in the United Kingdom, but they didn't want to be lumped in as British.
Right? No, it was
And the Irish are very keen about that. They do not call it the United Kingdom because of that. They don't want to be part of Britain.
right. No, 100%, and it's quite similar to us pre-Civil War.
Yeah.
And our view on the states and everything in the Union, and everything. But yeah, pre-Civil War, it's the same. You're not an American. You're from Indiana. You're from Ohio. You're from Pennsylvania. Whatever. That's what's important to you, not the United States. It's just the state you come from, and we happen to be in this like loose confederacy of nations, not the other one. Before anybody says anything, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, Confederacy meant other things before the bad one.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
One word.
George Lucas used it. And it was on purpose, that bastard.
Yeah. Anywho.
Confederacy of Nations, and they have Japanese accents. Continue.
Will do. So, long story short, English was like, dude, we might be fighting the Germans right now, but we come back and fuck you up real quick, and did. So, because of that, looks like 485 people were killed. 260 of them were civilians. 143 of them were British military police personnel, and 82 were Irish rebels. The rest of them were executed after that, actually. So, they were rallied up and executed. I think they were all hung, I'm pretty sure. And there were 2,600 people were wounded. Many of them were civilians wounded by the British artillery fire that were mistaken for rebels.
And
That's gonna be another theme, by the way.
Yeah.
Keep that theme in mind. We have a lot of things going on here. One of them is going to be the Protestant versus Catholics. The other one, the British military kills a lot of civilians.
yeah,
I do.
yeah.
Like a lot of civilians. It's
But,
a habit.
the most important thing, arguably, this is just my opinion, but the most important thing about Easter Rising is that they executed those people.
Yeah.
Because if they hadn't done that, and again, you could argue this to death, but if they hadn't done that, that whole movement wouldn't have reached martyrdom status.
Yeah.
And at which point,
No, listener, you're not having a stroke.
anyway,
You got it. Oh my god. Hell yeah. You got it, man.
Aaron closed the window.
Special
But,
guest, train.
Yeah,
But,
special
yeah.
guest trains.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, the most important thing, and I'm not saying that to mean that it's the best thing that the British could have done, but in a sense, the best thing that the British could have done for the Irish is kill that many Irish, arguably, because that's
It was kind of kicked off the whole.
That was their catalyst for
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, so to get I was giving a lot of background to get to the to this point, just because there's a lot that had to do with kicking off the IRA.
Yeah, well, and like I said before we were recording, like if this goes so far back that if Henry VIII didn't exist, none of this happened. Like that, it goes that far back.
Yeah.
If Henry VIII hadn't split from the church,
Well, and,
That cod peace having motherfucker.
that winched on a horse.
well, and
Yeah, oh yeah, just to give clarity to that, because I'm not sure if everybody knows about this. To give clarity to how fat Henry VIII was, he could not mount his own horse anymore. It had to be winched from the ground to sit on top of his horse.
Winch me to thine horse.
And the horse, having better taste, refused to mount him.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, true story.
What are you gonna say, John?
oh, I was just gonna say, like, to your point. So the reason why Northern Ireland became the way it was, one, it wasn't just geography of like that being the closest point to England. What it was is way back in like the 1100s when the British were like, "Hey, we want this place, and this place doesn't want us." Is they started ejecting Irish people out and putting in English families, people who were pro-English. And Ulster was kind of their center point in all this.
Yeah.
That lasted for fucking ever. And so when they finally separated from the rest of Ireland and Northern Ireland, Ulster was mainly pro-English at this point. They wanted to be part of
Yeah.
Britain.
Yeah.
Well, I want to add a piece to that too, because you did mention like how they started injecting like the English settlers into that part of Ireland, which is true. But the part that I think needs to be nailed down too is the fact that they not only put them there, they bred them in there. So these people
Yeah.
were bred to be English.
Yeah, it wasn't there like a lot of stuff like if you were born Catholic, they were starting to like push the Protestant thing and make it to where like if you were born Catholic, you were born to a secondhand citizenship. Like you were just born into poverty
To a point,
automatically. You know what I mean?
everything was harder. Housing,
Right.
Yeah,
education.
Because it was all voted on.
Yeah.
all
And the
all
people
the
that-
shit that happened here in the South.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
very, very similar.
So what also happened too is like if you were like you said like a second class citizen, the people that would vote on housing or land rights were all Protestant. So if you weren't one of them, you're fucked.
Well, yeah, I have it started in like kind of in the 1960s, but in order to vote, you had to own land.
Right.
All the Protestants owned the land, and so they would elect Protestant officials. The president, and it goes one more step, the officials then determined who got houses, which would go to the Protestants, who would vote in Protestant people, and the cycle just kept going.
Were they a
Yeah.
democracy? Because they sound like they were a fucking democracy.
I mean, with air quotes.
And that's why democracy is bad. Republics for life. Anyway,
I mean, we're a democratic republic.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a constitutional republic.
Right.
Well, like
don't
you said,
don't,
You know what I mean.
don't start Ben on this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. That's a whole nother issue, actually.
it's like you said, it's just good to
Don't.
know all of this shit to understand why the IRA did some of the
It's
fucking
just-
things that they
Yeah.
fucking did, you know?
Hundreds of centuries of hate bred into your bones.
Yeah, to the fucking point where it's like, all right.
So fast forwarding a couple more years, actually, because like I said, this Easter Rebellion, Easter Rising was in 1916. Fast forwarding a bit to 1920. So this is Bloody Sunday. Like I said before, I have a book for it. If anybody wants to borrow it, you can, I guess. I mean, I read it once. Anywho, it doesn't. I think reading it once is more than enough. What happened was, this dude named Michael Collins and his 12 apostles, as they called them. It's kind of a romanticized drama between the followers that he had, because Michael Collins was set up to be like this great leader, like literally the second coming of Christ, and his and people followed him with that kind of fervor, with that kind of reverence. Hence why they said he had 12 apostles, whole thing. Anywho, he was part of the IRA. And they had an operation to kill these undercover British operatives that were sitting around and poking around in the southern part of London, or southern part of Ireland. They're just trying to find out. They're trying to find the undercover operatives that were trying to distance. They're just pretty much not only being spies, but like trying to convert people to their side undercover. It's a problem. They need to be killed, according to Michael Collins. And so they did. So what they did was,
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert, he killed a few people. So what ended up happening was the undercover operatives were called the Cairo Gang, because there was a Cairo cafe that they all tended to be at and meet at. This was giving them their name. They end up finding these people at their various houses. They end up killing 15 of them. So some of the people that were killed were the British Royal Irish Constabulary, or the Black and Tans. I think that's for their uniforms, if my memory serves. This all came to a head. So essentially, after the 15 people were killed, the British RIC, or Black and Tans, however you want to call them, ended up going to a Gaelic football game, or a football match. I'm sorry, they call them matches over there. My bad. To the people across the pond. So they ended up going to a football match with the military. The goal of this was actually to find out if they could find members of IRA that were hiding amongst the people. They were there to search and maybe make arrests, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. They ended up opening fire on a group of civilians, killing 14, wounding 6, and 2 of those were children.
Jesus.
The IRA members, they did find them though. The people that perpetrated this plot with Michael Collins, they did find them. They did kill them as well. But the problem is they opened fire on civilians, unarmed civilians, at a football match.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a theme going on here.
So I wonder if we got like our information from like the two different opposite sides, because I have a different story on Bloody Sunday.
Oh, please do. Please help.
Yeah, so mine was that there was it was essentially like a riot that happened.
Well, there was Bloody Monday.
They said this one was Bloody Sunday. I don't
Also
have anything
Bloody Friday.
on Monday.
No, Friday was fine.
Bloody Sunday
was
I
good.
have in 1971, and essentially
Yeah, the one I'm talking about is the 20s, 1920s.
huh. Okay, maybe there's two Bloody Sundays.
No, there are.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, shit.
There are. It's I mean, there's how many?
We can get to yours next though.
Okay, so I'll stay quiet.
Hop in the DeLorean. We'll talk about yours.
I wasn't
Because
aware.
there was also one for America too. Didn't we have a Bloody? Was it Bloody Monday?
I thought it was Bloody Friday.
Was it a Friday?
I have a list of all the bloodies. There's like
Damn,
pretty much like every
All I
fucking
can
day of
think
the
of
week.
is Black Tuesday.
Hey, note for the historians: make new names.
Right. That's all having bloody.
Yeah,
Maybe-
there's so much.
Maybe
there's
throw in
so
a crimson.
Maybe a crimson.
Maybe a crimson. Maybe a maroon. A maroon Monday.
Guess what? If there's another major event, don't pick that name. Pick
Help us out. We're not historians. We're just podcast people. Damn it. Anyways, John, you can go ahead. Take your. You go. My next one is Bloody Monday, which is after Sunday. That's how calendars work. Anyways, go ahead.
So, anyways, I'm going to talk about this unique event called Bloody Sunday. Not to be confused with Bloody Sunday. So this one I have in 1971. Essentially, at this point, like, there wasn't a big call for violence. The IRA was actually not super strong at this time and point because people saw them as violent, and they still were favoring peaceful events.
You know what? Can I break in 1 second?
Send it.
No, there are a ton, and it's something we should have said. There are a ton of different IRAs that have broken off from, it started with the anti-treaty IRA, to the provisional IRA, which is pretty much what everybody thinks when they think the IRA, to the real IRA, the continuity IRA, and everything. And just for everybody listening, just if you're interested, do the reading, figure out which IRA we're talking about. But just know there are several different ones of several different belief structures.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
No, excuse me. And essentially, there was a large protest of around 15,000 people, and the British, being British, deployed soldiers to this. And it in my head, you kind of equate it to the whole like Vietnam protests of like the National Guard opening fire on people. Same shit happened, except this one got a little bit more violent with the crowd. They started yelling, throwing signs, throwing sticks, throwing rocks, throwing bricks, and eventually led to the British opening fire and killing 13 civilians, which they then noted as Bloody Sunday. Now, essentially, the non-violent people after the event said, fuck that shit. And the IRA exploded. They had thousands of members joining daily, and that is what built their militia group. And that is what I have as kind of the start of the time period of the Troubles.
Yeah, like the mindsets, I think, because I want to get into this a little bit before you go for it. They had a manual, like a manual for new recruits for the IRA. Because at this point in time, this was so fucking strong that if you were a young Irish man looking to join, you were considered like a fucking pussy if you weren't willing to be part of the IRA, you know, if you were like a proud Catholic at this time. So they had what was called the Green Book. It's a manual that basically stated their mission, what they expected of you. And a lot of it is pretty like to the fucking point, you know, like I'm going to read a couple of little things out of it, but for the most part, the manual says, you're probably going to die and we need you to kill a lot of people. And as long as you're okay with that, you know, and if you're not, then you're a pussy. And leave, and that's basically what it says. So I'll go over like a couple of the things, you know, because this is like if we can't go over all the bombings, all the fucking because there's so many. There's so many,
much.
But this was like what was going into the young Irish fucking kid's mind, you know, when he's just a little Irish fucking street hoodlum, you know. I can't. I'm working on it.
Hi. Diddly-dee-dee-dee.
That was racist.
I don't care.
Okay, so it says one of the rules: don't talk in public places. You don't tell your family, friends, girlfriends, or workmates that you are a member of the IRA. Don't express views about military matters. In other words, you say nothing. Don't be seen in public marches, demonstrations, or protests. Don't be seen in the company of known Republicans. Don't frequent known Republican houses. Your prime duty is to remain unknown to the enemy forces and the public at large. If we scroll a little further down to like some of their like, you know, what they think is moral, it says the moral position of the Irish Republican Army, the IRA, is its right to engage in warfare is based on the right to resist foreign aggression, the right to revolt against tyranny and oppression, and the direct lineal succession of the provisional government of 1916, which was the first Dale of 1919 and the second Dale of 1921. Kind of like, it's long. There's two books. There's the Green Book 1 and 2. And it basically, if you go through it, it just gives, like I said, a list of things they expect, how to use explosives, you know, techniques that they use. Because they would do things where like they would get girls to lure fucking guys to cars, and they would sneak up on a guy, fucking blow him in the back of the fucking head. You know, the IRA guys were.
I think I have one of those written down in my list of events.
Yeah, these guys were real, like doing literally anything.
Yeah.
Like,
the corporal killings. That's where it was.
Yeah, they kind of pulled out all the stops, and this book was kind of like a handbook to be like, look, this is.
If anybody's familiar with field manuals from the military, the stuff, you know, I mean, you can get them anywhere. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
for the most part. Just written with an accent. Okay, that's the last one, I promise.
Jeez, dude.
But,
it's like a young Irish kid walks by and he's like, "Hey, kid, are they after your Lucky Charms?"
Just
only a matter of time.
just imagine. I want to see an SNL skit from like the 70s while this was going on. And the Lucky Charms leprechaun going on about those filthy Brits after his Lucky Charms. Toss some marshmallow car bombs. I digress. So, for now.
Okay.
But John brought up, if I may, DJ, if you're wrapped up. So, John.
I got a little bit more, but go ahead. Yeah.
So, John brought up the actions of Bloody Sunday and everything. But the Bloody Sunday Redux, but
I guess Bloody Sunday 2, Electric Boogaloo. Damn it.
But it is important. It is important to say that prior to those events in Derry or Londonderry, depending on who you're talking to and what they call it in Ulster or Northern Ireland, the British Army was originally seen as a positive peacekeeping force. It wasn't until later where things got hairy because the Catholics, you had Catholic nationalists, and on the other side you had Protestant loyalists. Is kind of what the divide was. to be really specific. And their problem was the RUC, the Royal Ulster Constabulary, was, if I'm remembering correctly, very unabashedly biased towards Protestants.
Yeah.
And they're the focus of a lot of the ire, for no pun intended, but for the Irish. And so the British brought in the army to essentially have a somewhat neutral force, and they were welcome
To be civil. They were civil at first.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and originally, and then, but again, and I'm not going to say it's necessarily anybody's fault. No military is good at policing. It's not their function.
Yeah.
And shit like this happens. But originally, yeah, they were very welcome. And then the honeymoon was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tight.
I'm
They're
gonna
not drinking water at least, so that was cool. Almost fucking drowned in my own goddamn house. It's terrible.
I'm gonna read a couple that just is like what this was their strategy
Sure.
of a couple of things. A war of attrition against enemy personnel, which is aimed at causing as many casualties and deaths as possible, so as to create a demand for their people at home for their withdrawal. 2, a bombings campaign aimed at making an enemy's financial interests in our country unprofitable. 3, to make 6 counties as it at present and for the past several years ungovernable except by colonial military rule. 4, to sustain war and gain support for its end by national, international propaganda and publicity campaigns. And 5, by defending the war of liberation by punishing criminals, collaborators, and informers. They were pretty much telling you, like, we're looking for you to kill people, you know,
Absolutely.
as
No,
many
it
as
was-
possible. We're looking to get, you know, we're looking to hit the banks, looking to hit the fucking politicians, you know, anybody who's got a vote that matters anymore, you know.
They were guerrillas before there was a guerrilla war.
Mm-hmm.
And it had been forming over centuries. The participants. That's the weird. I feel like the weird thing about it is because when you think about, I don't know, places like Vietnam. I mean, that's honestly the big one. But even Ukraine, what's going on now, and you look at like the guerrilla style warfare, Chechnya. That's a good example.
Yeah.
It's kind of all of a sudden those things happen to a point. We don't live there, so we can't necessarily say all of a sudden. But if you read the history on these things, and like, you know, for the most part, fairly stable. You know, it is what it is. Maybe they don't like each other, but this has been a straight line of hatred for centuries, like we've said so many times.
Yeah, and the guerrilla warfare thing, you know, like them having the Green Book and being so organized, you know, like if you go to the Green Book too, they tell you what to do when you get interrogated. You know, they tell you what to do if you get shot and you don't want to go to a hospital. You know, they tell you like all different types of little things, like what you should do when you get arrested, you know, like if you should kill somebody, if like moves to make things to do, you know, it's, and that's like a real, like, you know, like guerrilla fucking warfare type shit.
It absolutely
you know what I mean?
was. And that's kind of why I brought it up, is because it's so interesting, because people don't think about that kind of fighting or warfare that far west in Europe.
Yeah.
Ever. And as far as, I didn't go to college, but as far as high school, we never talked about it. It wasn't until I was out of high school I learned about it on like the History Channel or something. I went, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And it is first cousin to my favorite word on the planet, balkanization.
If you guys haven't listened to Balkanization episode, please go back.
We need to revisit that, because that was early and it's rough.
I'm gonna make
probably was.
a bingo card of just Benisms, and I'm gonna put it on the podcast group, and people can check off as Ben says his words, and it's just like scattershot of
You think I'm going to be...
communism, China, balkanization.
You know, actually, I thought about that's actually not a terrible idea. Like, I can actually have like a live thing going, like on like Discord or something, and like live stream it, and whoever like gets the mail can get like a free T-shirt or something.
You think I'm going to be mad? I love this.
That'd be kind of fun, actually. Hold on to that. That's actually a good idea, though. Like, we should use that.
Okay. Yeah.
And like do like a live stream of it, and then like whoever wins, it's like a free T-shirt.
That's solid.
That's a really good idea.
It's one of the squares.
We're gonna come back to this.
It's one of the squares just yells.
Inaudible yelling.
That, you know what,
Inaudible wheezing.
we'll make that the free space.
I just got
But,
one more thing on the Green Book. Not aside from the interrogation, they also in the Green Book had specific ideals and torture methods. So this is just another thing of like some of the things they were teaching and the things they were doing or teaching people to do. Some of their in conclusion stuff is really cool. This was the one I liked a lot. It just says, in conclusion, say nothing, sign nothing, see nothing, hear nothing. And that was kind of like their fucking thing, you know?
We talked about how kind of like this isn't really talked about a whole lot and people don't think of this level of violence. The Troubles is generally referred to as the 30 years between, or 38 years between 1969 and 2007. In that time frame, we're talking about 10,000 bombings and 37,000 plus shootings. Mm-hmm. And the Irish actually don't enjoy the term the Troubles because it sounds like childish. It sounds soft. It sounds like not a big deal. And the thing that they try to relay very frequently is like, no, this was a war. We're not short-sighting it. I won't say there were the casualties that you'd imagine with a war, but the day after the Bloody Sunday 2.0, there were 20 bombings that next day.
Well, the one thing I could say, and they won't like it, but if they won, they could have named it wherever they wanted.
We could have got away from fucking bloody. Would have been nice.
History's written by the victor.
It is. See, I enjoy to some degree learning about it just because even though the Brits way back when, bad guys definitely and everything, but as far as the actual modern day fighting and whatnot, there's no real good guy in any of this.
No,
it's about as murky as it gets, and that's why it fascinates me.
No matter which way you flip it, you know, like the IRA was created because of all the things that happened, but the IRA being created was also one of the worst fucking things that could happen.
Absolutely, and so you know, we can we get into some of the things that they did.
So actually, before that, I had two more things I want to bring up, just real quick, because one of them is super quick. Because we talked about obviously what happened during World War I and how they used that to that time to revolt. Well, I didn't bring up anything about World War II. And that's because, as people might know, Ireland was actually neutral during World War II. Yep. Literally because they didn't want to have another civil war. They're like, if we do something that's too pro-British, we might have another civil war in our hands. We're staying out of it.
Have you ever seen that Siege of Jadotville on Netflix?
I have.
Yeah, the Irish, I hate to say this, but they're with the UN. Anyway.
Another bingo square.
I fucking hate them. Anyway.
I get it.
They go to Africa because the whole thing is Ireland's never committed an army to modern war.
Sure.
And everything. But these guys are kind of the... What's the word I'm looking for? Loophole to that, I guess, to a degree. Because Irish regiment that was, I don't know how it works, but given out to the UN or whatever.
Sure. And
there's this whole siege out in near a diamond mine in Africa. Fascinating story. But
why does that sound familiar to me?
You've probably seen it as a suggestion a bunch of times on your Netflix.
But I feel like I learned that like a long time ago.
Maybe. And they just made it a movie. Could have, in the last 10 years, but
yeah. I'm gonna have to look into this because that does ring a bell.
Yeah,
because I mean, like, all right, so
leave it to the UN to send a neutral fucking army to fucking Africa. What were they thinking? I'm done. I'm sorry. I apologize.
And then to protect fucking slave dive. See, now I want to get started.
Fuck them. When are we doing the UN episode?
Soon. I need to make sure like I wear proper clothing. It's gonna get hot. Get it really hot.
Until we get to fucking Rwanda and Clinton. Oh my god, those fucking animals.
Oh, then you have the whole NAFTA thing with Mexico. Anyways, so that's a whole other episode. We're gonna.
My head hurts.
Yep, that'll do it. That'll fucking do it. No, I did say that the Ireland was neutral during World War II. There were people that served from Ireland that just went and served, just like before, like America did before we got into the war. Before America got involved with World War II, there were people that just went to England. Like, I'm a pilot, so like America ain't doing shit, but I'm down. What's happening? And served. Yeah. So there were people like that, but as a whole, just to avoid another rebellion, like we're not. No. No, you guys got it.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up Bloody Monday though before you dive into to that, because again, bloody. So Bloody Monday. This is January 1972. The British Army shot 26 unarmed civilians that were protesting. 14 died. The problem with this was actually supposed to be a peaceful protest to protest them arresting Irish citizens without a trial. So they're throwing people in jail without any kind of due process.
And there was a lot of that the entire span of the Troubles.
So these civilians were out there just protesting this peacefully, apparently, and the British military opened fire on them, and the people that were shot were all running away. They weren't running at the soldiers; they were running away from shoulders. So you have like people that were shot, like picking up other people, or that are shot in the back because they were running away from them.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, there's a theme going on with this British soldiers just killing these motherfuckers like civilians.
Fearing for their lives.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
We forget, and this isn't an excuse, but it's just how much things have changed. People forget how much collateral damage there used to be.
Oh, all the time.
And war, conflict, everything. I mean, before I don't know, just before everything got better, I guess.
Yeah.
At least for Western forces and everything.
Everything got more surgical.
But that's what I mean.
We
Whether
got
it be
the ability to deliver precision munitions, which drastically cut down.
down to the soldier, not even just
Yeah.
artillery or munitions, but like down to the individual service member and people. Yeah, and it was not that long ago that change happened.
And that's just, we're talking about like in like the established country like America, England. There's still a lot of civilian casualties everywhere else, though.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I said like Western.
Like, look at what happened with the whole China thing. What happened with, what was that, Thailand? Which part of China was trying to? Well, that wasn't part of China. Was trying to join America. To Thailand. This was a few years ago.
You mean Hong Kong?
Hong Kong.
Yeah, when they were flying the American flags.
Yeah. And then they got shot.
Yeah, and one of them had an American rifle, and I was so proud of that dude.
Yeah,
whoever that was, I'm sure he's
That
dead.
sucks.
But
Oh, he's dead as fuck.
but I love him.
The fucking balls on these guys to be in China, like, America, we love you.
Yeah.
Like, well,
There's
Hong
not
Kong
a
is
person in that
Well,
video
they
who's
were
alive.
formerly a British colony, so that is
Right.
kind of how that goes.
right.
America,
Yeah,
we love you.
right. They wanted our help so bad, we didn't help them.
Yeah.
But they started arresting people at first, and then they just started opening fire on them.
Wow.
Like, hundreds died, and nobody talks about it.
No, nobody does because we can't hurt Disney's fucking profit share by talking bad about the fucking Chinese, the government, and what they fucking do. Those fucking people. The government.
Yeah, I like Chinese people. They're great.
Oh yeah,
But
no, they're
their government is fucking shit.
My nephew's half Chinese. I love them 100%. There's no, and my niece. There's no half of them I like more than the other.
If you YouTube politically incorrect commercials from like the 60s, there's so many commercials making fun of Chinese people. There are so many.
I believe that.
You know what makes me like irrationally mad? Shut up.
A lot.
Everything.
I got it.
I'll actually go on Disney Plus and I'll watch something like, I don't know, fucking Bad Batch because they believe the New Zealand accent's a real thing. And I'll have to use captions.
Oh, fuck. I hate that part of the show. Anyways, carry on.
And I'll go on to the captions, and the fact that Chinese is first now just makes me want to wage war.
Wow.
Just, like,
Never
Yeah, I
noticed
like
that.
Bad Batch, but Omega's accent.
Omega pisses me off.
Omega.
It's
Anyways,
Omega.
it's Omega.
It's Omega.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, what the fuck are we talking about?
You were going to You were going to take over, actually.
From one racist comment to another.
There we go.
Hey, none of this has been racist.
We're actually doing pretty good today.
Yeah.
On racism?
For once.
Pretty solid. Yeah.
So, actually, real quick, just I'm going to try to not make this super exhaustive, but to someone we should have done earlier, but run down a quick list of everybody involved in this friggin' thing. Because it does us no good to sit here and say Britain, Ireland. But you have on the UK side, or Great Britain, the British Army, Royal Ulster Constabulary, the SAS. Let's see here. The UDR, Ulster Defense Regiment, Ulster Volunteer Force, UVF. These are loyalist paramilitary groups, so pretty much counter to the IRA. Then you have the Ulster Freedom Fighters, and in the notes I wrote, a cover name used by the UVF when claiming responsibility for attacks. And because while not as famous as the IRA, there were plenty of reprisals that happened, but it wasn't, I don't know, as historically sexy as the IRA, I guess, because they're the underdog. You know, so we don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's the hero's tale.
Military group.
It's not. They're not conventionally sexy. All right.
Yeah.
Let them have this, John.
Sex sells. That's my boy. And, you know, that's different forms of sexy. And what else we got? Ulster Resistance, again, Loyalist, the Loyalist Volunteer Force, Red Hand Commando, and a series of Orange Orders. So that takes care of just the British. And then you had the IRA and all its groups. And again, you had the anti-treaty IRA, the provisional IRA, which is what you generally what you're thinking of when you think of the IRA is the provisional IRA. And from there, you had the real IRA. After that, the continuity. And I think there's still two more that go all the way up into the 2000s.
Yeah.
Long
Organic
time.
IRA, GMO-free IRA.
Range-free.
Grass-fed.
Yeah, grass-fed IRA.
No, they weren't. There was a famine about it. We talked about it.
Twice.
Actually.
Right. So the official Irish Republican Army, a faction that split from the IRA in 1969, advocating for Marxist socialism. We don't talk about those.
Right, we didn't. Yeah,
we don't talk about those people.
They're not people.
Exactly. Like have your struggle, but if you're a commie, just fuck off. Accept your fate.
What we're saying is, if we can pass notes on to the Irish, it's get fucking original with your goddamn names. Stop making IRA 1.1.
It's almost like Hot Topic for terrorist organizations. Just a constant rebranding. This is called full circle.
Get better at marketing.
And then the last one I'll mention is the Irish National Liberation Army. It's another Republican paramilitary group, also socialist in their ties and everything, just less popular, less maybe perhaps less grassroots than the IRA as we know them. But anyway,
when we talk about like these sub factions in the loyalist side of this. Again, because we had the British who basically bred loyalists into the Ulster area in Northern Ireland, these were Irish people who were very loyal to the British. And so you had the British trying to impose their rule on them, and then there were the Irish people who wanted to be imposed on.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be... They saw the rest of Ireland as very corrupt, very... they saw it as a country trying to pull them into their country that they didn't want to be a part of.
And a step further, it was a... They bred a group of people in a land that they were going to take care of next to people that they weren't going to take care of. Yes. So naturally that loyalism to some degree is going to take hold because they were being taken care of because they're bred Protestant. Yeah. And so, you know, it's, yeah. But yeah, I have, I don't know, a few interesting notes of their attacks and their methods, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like, I don't even know the number of the bombings because there's so many different numbers I've come across, but the average is around 10,000 bombings between 68 and 98.
Well, my favorite, and we'll start with my favorite, is one because it was in 1984, and that's my favorite year, the year of our Lord George Orwell, and the man who warned us against commies. And I'm alone at this point.
Oh, you're good. I just feel like I gotta buy toilet paper. Carry on.
But yeah,
It's literally what I'm doing right now.
almost read the wrong one. The Brighton hotel bombing, and I just enjoy this one because it's very late into the war and the campaign, but it signifies the balls on these guys. And do you know what I'm talking about?
This is the Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
They tried to
Margaret
blow
Thatcher
up-
naked on a Wednesday night. Margaret Thatcher naked on a Wednesday night.
They tried to blow up Margaret Thatcher, and they got close.
Yeah.
They got super close. You know, that's the best way to explain how close, or I'm sorry, how involved both nations were beyond the border.
For those not tracking, Margaret Thatcher was the prime minister at the time.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes.
They did end up killing an MP.
They killed 5
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they killed another guy. They killed another guy, and that was where'd he go?
Was he the MP?
Possibly, maybe Lord Lewis.
Member of Parliament, yeah.
Okay, he was. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, we're talking about the same person.
Yeah.
And yeah, they killed him on his boat. They killed this rich British guy on his boat.
Fuck your boat.
And the only
Hose and hose.
Right.
the only sad part
Which you laugh about.
is that some innocent people got taken out, including relatives of his, and it was a 50. I had it written down here. I think I'm looking right over. There it is. 50-pound bomb. They put a 50-pound bomb on this boat to make sure they got him. Like they un-Britished him.
Yeah, because I'm like the most British thing to do is like blow up somebody's boat.
Yeah. But
Yeah, they're going to fucking colonize and you just blow them up. That's beautiful.
yeah, this was Lord Lewis Mountbatten, and
That's a hell of a name.
right? And I got Family Guy vibes from that
Well,
one. You know,
this is-
Lord Bottomtooth. Yeah.
'Cause I can't think about Margaret Thatcher without thinking about their depiction of Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
burned into my memory.
Well, like DJ said, I can't hear Margaret Thatcher without awesome powers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's the first thing I thought of.
every time. And so, actually, you know what? Since we're talking about Thatcher, it might be even a good time to talk about Bobby Sands. Anybody read about him? The hunger strike.
no.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
This
I don't
is
know.
fucking impressive.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because
And he was nobody until this happened.
I don't
as far as the IRA
maybe they
goes.
didn't know the fucking Irish already went through 2 famines. Like, motherfucker, we cannot eat for a long time. You fucking try me, goddammit.
Yeah. And it was, you know, right or wrong, whatever you decide, it's I'm not involved, so I don't care. But reading the differing opinions, or not opinions, but the differing takeaways between Thatcher and supporters of Sands is really interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting, because when the IRA originally would get locked up, they would get special POW.
Yeah, they could wear street clothes.
Yeah.
They basically
what the
were
hell's the word I'm looking for?
like
Not clearance. What
they were like
Privileges?
I don't even want to say
What?
trustees, but like
Privileges?
privileges? Yes. POW privileges.
Yeah,
essentially,
yeah.
instead of being locked up as a common criminal, you were locked away as a POW. So different considerations are taken into account. Like DJ saying, you had street clothes. I don't know. Maybe the food was better. Whatever. Either way, there were certain privileges that they got, and then I believe Thatcher was the one that decided to take it away. I could be wrong. Either way, it got stripped from them. They became common criminals in the system.
They made it so to where like that. I forgot what the story I was reading, but it was like 300 inmates were like filling their toilets up with shit.
Yeah, and naked.
Naked as fuck because they refused to wear clothes because they said you can't wear street clothes. They were like, we wear nothing.
Yeah,
Right, how about nothing?
We will wear
they
absolutely
refused
nothing.
to wear the prison outfit, the
Yeah.
prison uniform.
So nothing it is.
So
Yeah.
nothing it is.
And then they flooded like over 300 inmates flooded their toilets with shit. And then they refused to eat. They were like, you know,
That's-
fuck you, we're not eating. And then like, you know, they were like, I guess instead of changing the, you know, what they were doing to them, all the things they'd taken away, they were like, here's some food, eat it. They would like put hot food near their cells, you know, like to let them smell it. But these fucking Irish bastards would go like, I don't know, 20 something, some odd fucking days.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like even having the food, the sense of it, where you could just end it like that. You could be like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. I'll eat.
Yeah, no.
Nope. Not these
And-
motherfuckers.
And Bobby Sands died. I think 6 more did, or 5 more, or something like that. It wasn't just him, but he was the famous one. But Bobby Sands died of hunger and died of self-imposed starvation.
Yeah.
And the British side of things was a deafening.
Yeah, basically.
And I'm not trying to color that a certain way because that's the enemy for Britain. Britain's the enemy for Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
This is just me being a spectator. So don't take any bias into my statement. It's just a matter of fact that's how it was interpreted.
Because Thatcher was like, they're fucking criminals. And then other people were like, they were living like fucking farm animals.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
what the fuck do you mean? Like, not even animals get.
Yeah, because her attitude was literally, they can eat.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not stopping them from eating.
Give them cake.
You know? But yeah, so one real interesting, they're all interesting.
I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that.
Honestly, I didn't even write that one down because I was just confident it was going to stay in the old brain box.
Yeah, same.
And you touched on this earlier where I mentioned it earlier. It's the corporal killings, and it's something that you can look into more. But it's when 2 British Army corporals who I'm sorry, I got that mixed up. The corporal killings was actually in a funeral procession, and they were beaten and shot to death. Broad daylight kind of attack. I'm sorry, that wasn't the corporal killings where they used women.
It's probably something like corporal killings, and then the other one's killing of corporals or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Bloody corporals or
bloody something, obviously.
Pinky out corporals, whatever the fuck. But no, so there's this South, and I do not know how to spell or pronounce this, but Armagh Sniper Brigade. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
Oh, it was a 7-year-long sniper campaign in a county in Ireland, where these different and this is what fascinates me about the Troubles. Not so much the politics, but really the mechanics of it, how it happened, how it worked. And they had I think it was from 90 to 97. And where they were, again, keeping up with this war of attrition thing. And to the point that there were signs made that says sniper at work and everything in that area. Like it's kind of a local joke almost.
Yeah.
Where they would just put a round, into a British soldier or as close as they could just to fuck with them. Just to like, hey, we're here. Just, that war of attrition for 7 years.
That sucks.
In this one county, not the whole nation where, there's a chance everywhere, but, the law of averages versus like, shit.
God, yeah. And
I'm here.
He's just hitting you. Like you just graze on the thigh.
Yeah, maybe.
Like or fucking potato farmers. God damn it.
And
when will this end?
and maybe, or he gets you. Because there were deaths in that area, but 7 years.
Yeah.
Of this whole
that's
thing.
Torture.
But it's dedication too.
Yeah.
Like
that's these fucking Irish, man. The more I read about it, I was like, this is fucking impressive.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, like always, respect your enemy. I don't care who it is. Respect your enemy.
Yeah.
And it's actually worth noting that the IRA sought weapons from everywhere. One of the big places was Gaddafi, of all people, in Libya.
Didn't he have his own green book? Carry on. I'm going to look into this.
But, so he supplied the IRA, but the IRA actually smuggled a couple Barrett M82s from the States over into Northern Ireland.
Ooh.
And
yeah, by the way, Gaddafi did have his own green book.
Oh, did he? Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's kind of hard to miss with a 50 cal. Kind of.
Well, because if you miss, it'll fucking blow their brains apart. So that's the thing about 50 cals. I think it was they found out about deer hunting. Like if you miss a target with a Barrett, if you're close enough, it'll still scrap with their brains. They'll still kill them. I think that's the shockwave, wasn't it?
I mean, that's the like the FUD lore about it, but like there's not much. There's not much.
It's a near miss.
I'll beat you into the ground with a physics book. That's not how fucking bullets work.
Hey, dude, that's what I heard before. I don't ever look to it. I'm just first saying.
No.
Just remember, I was willing to converse with you. John went straight to violence.
Dude, fuck John.
Right?
How about y'all listen to the genetics of growing a beard, you bitch?
So
physics, motherfucker.
Genetics, motfucker. Get some better ones.
No.
So
Anyways.
in addition to that 7 years, you have these 50 cals, and again, if we don't have if people out there aren't gun owners, we're talking about a kilometer, essentially 1,000-meter radius of usable space for one rifle for 7 years, and it can be anywhere in this county. That's torturous. And I mean, granted, you can get 1,000 meters out of a 308, any of these guns with the right, but even if you're bad to some degree, you can get that 50 to go that distance because it's just going to a point. But anyway, not to get into ballistics of it, but the other one that, in addition, the sniper one, I love because of all these cells roaming around and just, I want to see a movie of that.
Just in the.
There's a bunch of ghillie
I imagine the long pipe, the long leprechaun pipe, and you just see the top hat come through the bushes.
Jeez, but it's like ghillie suit wearing it.
The muzzle flashes the Lucky Charms rainbow.
Jeez. That's how you imagine the slope.
I just imagine
rainbows.
A leprechaun trying to knife you in the jugular to bring you back into the bog, but he has to jump.
Dude, I'm picturing the leprechaun and a ghillie suit. Like,
oh yeah,
him legitimately.
It's good.
It's really a shrub.
It's up there.
At that point.
Oh, it's up there.
But the other one that I'm utterly fascinated by is there's so many ambushes and all these other little onesie twosie battles that are so important and need to be researched. And if we do a part 2, let's do these. But the other one that's super interesting to me, I almost feel bad saying that, the proxy bomb campaign. Anybody? No? Put my phone down. So the proxy bomb campaign of the IRA was this. DJ, you are the father of John and Aaron. I apologize.
Fuck me, man.
I'm the pappy.
That's why my genetics are fucked.
Full circle.
DJ doesn't even know what he is. But
You'd have a beard if you were mine, goddammit.
One of paternity tests.
So I fulfill John's dream here, and I'm Irish, and I come in here into this house. I take these 2 hostage. They're your kids, brothers, whatever. They're your relation, right? And I'm holding them hostage. Now I'm going to tell you that you're going to take my 86 Buick out there that is suspiciously low on one side, and you're going to go drive it to a British checkpoint. It's a bomb. You're delivering it for me while I'm holding your family hostage. And everything. This was the proxy bomb campaign. What they did.
Shit.
Sometimes people got out of the cars. Sometimes they didn't. In one instance, the guy, I want to say the guy was instructed to just get the car there, get out, your family will be fine. Blah blah blah. The bomb was actually hooked to the dome light. So when he opened,
that's fucking.
So when he opened the door, it detonated, and and there was a bunch of these. And proxy bomb campaign.
That's insane. There's so many stories. I must have glazed over that because the list of bombings that they have is so many.
Yeah, well, it's low intensity warfare.
Yeah,
is where it is. And that's it. And you have a lot of events.
Yeah,
you have a lot of events, but for short term, so it's peaks.
Yeah,
instead of like a conventional war like World War I or II. Where it peaks in the beginning, but then it plateaus. It doesn't sink; it plateaus, and that high is kind of maintained, with some trembling in it. But for however many years, and then it sinks, and things go back to normal. And this is, like a heart attack.
I mean, it's
like
kind
for
of
30 years. This was 9/11. If you want to talk,
it's comparable.
If you
want
to talk numbers,
yeah,
this was 9/11 over the course of 30 years.
Yeah, fucking wild.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like when we were going through the Green Book, the mentality of these fucking guys, like this was never gonna stop, and their big thing was to be hidden. So like, why would you just fucking bomb all the time when you can just do it and kind of disappear for a little bit and then come back? And there's constant fear, constant anxiety of
Yeah, and again, it honestly is kind of a perfect war of attrition.
It's like going to work in the morning, like every day, you're just staring at your car for 15 minutes. You're just like, don't be okay.
Honestly, our generation will get into that bitch every time.
Yeah. I was like,
send the wife.
It's like, well, as soon as we're supposed to live,
shit.
I will find out.
In one instance, I go to work, and the other one, I die.
Right.
I
This is
do want-
video
That's
day.
good odds.
I do
There
want
There is
and
remote
I-
start nowadays. I
And that's
guess,
what
yeah.
that's where I was reading about one of the car bombs, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, how much would a remote start help me? Like I wonder.
It would
Like,
you'd have to do it at the door, honestly.
right? Well, or again, like the dome light
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like I said earlier. So that's me just like pushing all my buttons before from a safe distance.
Here at Quiet Taste Podcast, we don't condone car bombings or
No.
You don't condone car
you're trying to
bombings.
figure out any of that.
You can have an Irish car bomb.
Oh, I do have a little tad bit about that though.
Yeah,
I would recommend you never order Irish car bomb
In
if
Ireland.
you're in Ireland.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's
That's a horrible idea.
An Irish car bomb
Might be a little bit of trouble.
was made in America. It
Right.
was made in Connecticut in the 70s. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
by
That
a guy.
sounds like Connecticut.
Yeah, by a guy who was promoting Bailey's cream.
Yep.
Yeah,
And he was like, first he had just Irish Jameson and Bailey's, and it was called the Grandfather, which is done all right. And then at some point in time, they got drunk as fuck, and of course, somehow it turned into a bomb. And before he took it, he said, "Bombs away."
Oh yeah.
So that's why it's called an Irish car bomb. Does
I'm
not
sure.
have anything to do.
Do you,
I prefer the Irish hand grenade.
Ooh, that's a good one
Those
too.
are fun.
Yeah, I love
Those
that
are
one.
fun.
do you know where the fortune cookie comes from?
No.
San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's California.
Yeah, San Francisco.
that's what I'm talking
There is a small legend, I guess, in China where they would transport messages between kingdoms or villages, wherever in cakes. No, in cakes. They would, you know.
Well, I mean, if you're
transport,
trying to not get killed by the emperor,
supposedly
Probably.
there's some legend behind
Maybe.
it, but yeah,
I'm reaching.
The fortune cookie comes from San Francisco.
Chinese guard of me is eating all the fucking cakes.
Ironically, the only
Find
good,
this fucking message.
ironically, nothing good has come out of California since.
yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
But
You know,
like real quick, just so people that don't know, if you've never taken an Irish hand grenade before, they're hilarious. It's like an Irish car bomb, but different. So you have instead of dropping the Baileys into the glass with Guinness, you balance the shot of Jameson and Baileys on the edge of the glass, and you pull one like
Ooh,
you pull
that
a
pin.
pin. Like you pull on the pin, and you check the shot of Jameson, and you chuck everything else.
I've seen those.
Yeah, I've done them in front of you. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
now
been
now
a
I know
while.
what it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done them in front of you.
Yeah, I'm not among the initiated.
Yeah, you don't drink, and
Yeah.
and DJ stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
it used
now
to
I
be
just
cool.
have John.
It used to be cool.
So,
I feel like I
Anyways.
got cooler.
I can't drink with John.
I support you, DJ.
Hell yeah,
I
that's
support
what I'm
I mean, I do drink with you, but you can't hang, man. You don't have the trauma yet.
Oh yeah, no, lacking trauma.
Yeah,
You're-
no,
you're-
you
Yeah.
are literally the smiliest son of a bitch I've ever met when you're drunk.
I think wasn't it you, DJ, that said he doesn't have the trauma to drink with me?
Yeah,
So-
he ain't got the fucking.
he stands there like Superman after he just whooped Lex Luthor's ass. Just
I'm just
when
happy to
he's
be
drunk.
there.
I know.
True. It's true.
Yeah, not enough childhood.
Yeah, I got some pain in there, man.
Hands on
Yeah.
waist, smiling.
Like,
and
I
shit.
smile after a few drinks and I drank the pain away. Now I'm back to normal.
Yeah, that's back to base level. Right.
right.
There.
It's
You know?
few whiskeys in there.
Yeah.
Got to get me back to normal.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's just sad.
man.
I don't have a problem. You have a
know,
problem. Anywho, carry on.
There's a couple.
I don't have a problem.
That's a problem.
That's the problem.
So I didn't want to go over too many, but for some
Yeah.
reason in 1972 there was a lot.
That was the
Really bad
That was
bombings.
the deadliest year.
Yeah, that,
Well, of it all.
I mean, we just talked about it earlier, but that was also the same year as Bloody Monday.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bloody Monday,
So-
Bloody Friday, which was another one. Which, this was the IRA exploded. 35 bombs across Northern Ireland. It had
Oh.
three large
it.
car bombs exploded in Derry, causing no injuries. Belfast Dublin train was bombed, and they detonated 22 more bombs in Belfast in the city center. He went fucking kind of crazy.
I forgot to go to that page because I had it written down. 80% of those bombs went off in a single half-hour period.
I think.
Oh, wow.
I think.
80% of them in a
Yeah, that's
30-minute.
That's what it was. That or it was 80 bombs. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember
I
that.
could be wrong.
average.
I think
Yeah.
it was 80%.
Okay,
though.
yeah,
I think.
yeah. But
Either way, it's a lot.
they,
right.
they went fucking crazy. Here's August 22nd, a bomb planted by the IRA in the customs office in Newry. September 14th, Imperial Hotel bombing. The UVF detonated a car bomb outside a hotel, killed 3 people, injuring 50, including some 91-year-old lady. Another protest situation, most of this stuff, like if you read it, it was like 5 killed, 150 injured,
Yeah.
all fucking civilian.
Tons of injured.
Yeah, just a whole lot, a lot of shit with kids too. A lot of churches that were getting bombed, man. Political offices, you know, you name it.
Well,
man.
and it is to this day, people still wonder how many of them were actually the IRA.
Yeah,
Because I mean, not by no means not all of them.
Yeah,
because there's plenty of them that they did take credit for. But
Sure.
I know there's a couple in there where people are.
Sure.
Are we sure?
yeah. There's definitely a few.
You know, but that's every conflict.
This was another big one, the Donegal street bombing. That one was a massive car bomb in Lower Donegal Street in Belfast City Centre. 7 people were killed, including 2 members of the RUC. 148 people injured. And for 72, this is pretty much every month. Every single fucking month, there's a bombing like this going off. And the numbers on it, it's like at this point, who's keeping track of this, man? You know, like
You know, it's crazy because like I was just thinking about this as you were speaking about these incidents and the years that they're happening. It's crazy that I think about like all these things happened and then it kept happening while we were alive. Like a lot of this is going on while we were. Well, maybe not John, but we were on this earth.
How dare you?
It's not my fault. You were born late.
You were 2 when the Good Friday Agreement was signed.
That was in 98.
Yeah, how old or when were you born?
92.
I thought you were born in 96.
No.
Either way, you're not a real person.
That's like 95 or some shit.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. Do you remember watching the Good Friday Agreement be signed?
I was there.
Have I offended you in your fucking sensibilities?
yeah.
No mustache having ass.
This is one of the. I'll read
My
a
ass
random
did not have a
one.
mustache.
Fucking
Wait to
1999.
get older.
Wait until second puberty.
Oh, the herring. It's a thing.
In Ben's case, they call it the red herring.
I like what you there. Fuck you, but I like what you
Thank you.
You heard that.
Here's a kind of recent one in all of our timelines. In 1998, August 1st, Banbridge bombing. A dissident Republican group calling itself the Real Irish Republican Army,
Right.
the RA.
Rhode Island?
Yeah, exactly. They detonated a bomb at the Banbridge at Banbridge County, downing a camp. Jesus Christ, Banbridge County, injuring 35 people and causing a fuckload of damage over there. And that's probably one of the ones that we all would have been somewhat aware of.
Yeah, I was I don't remember it, but I was 11. You would have been 12, Ben. So
What year was it?
98.
98. Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't remember it
You know-
personally, but I mean, I feel like the news we were getting wasn't about that.
No.
Yeah, unless you're watching like RN fucking TV or something
not
like
at
that.
all.
Yeah, I was only watching cartoons.
Because it's even talking to people older to me about this subject, they're just, what's that?
Mhm.
Yeah, they don't know. And it's important. What preceded a lot of these bombings, not even half of them, but a notable amount, were ceasefires. A lot of these bombings were the end of ceasefires, where some line was crossed or whatever, as far as the IRA was seeing or saw it, and then they would just go and bomb. I believe the Remembrance Day bombing was one such occasion, and that was 11 dead and 63 wounded, off memory, and I think that was in 98 also. I think, but yeah, a lot of the bombings were a ceasefire for however many months or whatever, and okay, everything's all well and good, going to the potato shop.
The fuck?
Some fucking potato cakes,
Some potato cakes, and none of them are pierogies for some reason. For all these people that have so many potatoes, and then it blows up. And
I don't know why my first song we missed ceasefire was like, all right, like playing basketball. And you're like, car.
Yeah.
All right, game on.
Game on.
It explodes.
I was gonna say, yes, they're gonna yell a lot louder. Car, shit.
Not stopping. It's not stopping.
She's old and has no will to live. Get out of the street.
The car's
Ooh.
leaning.
This is a really big one that I want to check this one. 1992, September 19th, forensic science laboratory bombing. The IRA detonated a 3,700-pound bomb at the Northern Ireland Forensic Science Laboratory in South Belfast. 700 houses were damaged. The explosion was pretty fucking big. Jesus Christ, I cannot fucking read today.
I tried taking down some of these figures and everything, and I just stopped.
There's so many, man.
It's like it was either take down some of the interesting bombings and the facts behind them, as like weights and damage and everything, or just make a list of bombings. And it was easier to just make
It's so
a list
much.
of bombs. Like if you're interested in it, just read.
They pretty much put a bomb in anything.
Pretty much.
Literally
The
everything.
only thing they didn't really do technically was suicide bombing, and the people and the times that they did do suicide bombing, the people didn't know that they were being suicided. Their dome light betrayed them.
Sounds like something Clinton would do.
That's so scary. It's like anytime your friend, he's like, "Hey, man, do you think you could drop this off for me?" You know, and like,
The fuck I can.
It's run by a Protestant church.
Like, that sounds suspicious.
Go get a pack.
Aren't you Catholic?
Go get me a pack of smokes. You don't smoke. I'm Irish. I smoke.
Jeez.
I've been thinking about it.
And we were doing pretty good for a while there. Just slowly but surely declining for a while there.
Were we though?
Slowly but surely getting worse. Till that just made it worse. Anyways, we should probably wrap this over about 2 hours.
Yeah.
No, yeah. We in part 2 this.
I mean,
There's
so much,
It's so interesting. Like I said, it's so interesting.
Yeah,
but-
and even the amount of films they've made around this. you
absolutely.
know,
There's an entire drug trade to the related to the IRA that's still going today.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
well, I mean, this.
Because and I'm sorry, John, but the Good Friday Agreement was signed in '98 and everything, but it didn't stop. You know, it was severely neutered compared to what it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s. But there's still a split. There's still a rift.
Yeah.
Yeah, the common issues that are starting to come up again is, so there was the Good Friday Agreement that was in '98, and that got kind of, I won't say unanimous approval, but Ireland was like 91% approval, and then Northern Ireland was 71% approval. And basically, it was just that, like, hey, we've come to an agreement that, and the violence stopped for the most part.
Yeah.
This started coming back up into an issue again when Brexit happened. And that's because Ireland is part of the EU.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So,
Bryce had fucked up so much shit.
Same with Scotland.
well, yeah. And so now the only border that the British had with the EU was in Ireland. And that came into a big issue with commercial trade and everything, because there's now tariffs that have to be applied and whatever. And the Irish started getting fucking antsy again because checkpoints had to get established. And they're like, fucking get rid of those checkpoints or we're going to start blowing shit up again.
Because did they start building a wall too?
Oh, there's peace walls.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there have been walls.
Well, yeah, I thought they started like with the checkpoints.
Like Jersey walls.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Those words.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they
Those are good walls. I like to keep Jersey people out.
Fair enough.
It's the hair.
they started building like checkpoints and everything like that. The eventual compromise to that was all of Ireland is treated economically like the EU, but politically, Northern Ireland still belongs to the British. The Northern Irish people hate that because they're like, oh, we're slipping into Ireland and we don't want to be Irish. We want to be English.
It's the Ireland Protocol, I think.
Yes.
Isn't it right? Yeah.
Yeah, where it's economically, it's treated as the EU, and
Yeah.
there's 2 different trade routes, something they can go through. It's like, oh, if this is going from England to an EU country, then it's considered this route where it gets tariffs. But if it's just going between Northern Ireland, or if it's just going between Ireland and England, then there's no tariffs.
This is off subject, but I think I thought it was funny. Just how the same way I thought it was funny with the royal wedding when the Queen died, and
Oh yeah, old bitch dead. Hilarious.
yeah, and then like
Fucking Vin.
I want to double my point.
Sorry, dude.
And then Brexit. I thought it was funny with all of those, like how much press they got here. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck.
You know, like,
I mean, Brexit was interesting, but that's about it.
It was interesting as a spectator. I won't
Sure.
say it wasn't, but like people were up in arms about it here.
Oh,
Yeah, like getting on full on arguments about whether it's good or bad and this, that, and the other. Like, I don't know. It was,
We have our own issues.
exactly. It was hilarious to me. And same with
Like the two corpses that are running for president again. Anyway.
Same with speaking of corpses, same with the bitch that died.
So there we go again. Like, I call his reaction.
I'll make the joke once I've made my point. and same with the living bitch that got married to the fucking other bitch.
I have no idea which one you're talking about.
Yeah, no.
The wedding.
Which one?
Let's call him Prince Harry a bitch.
Oh.
Although
yeah,
I guess I shouldn't. He did serve.
Man, this is
Yeah.
random.
Yeah.
I just thought about it, but we were talking about the ghillie suits. You know, the sniper thing.
Scottish invention, actually.
No shit.
Yeah.
The ghillie suits.
Scottish Highlands.
So there's a band I recently discovered from Chicago. They're called Blackwater Sniper.
That's very on the nose.
These guys are fucking interesting. I love throwing out bands like this. You probably won't like their music. I'll tell you that.
A lot of
I
people.
like that he's solely looking at me.
This is for you.
The resident
So,
old man.
A lot of
guys-
people don't like Blackwater, so
when they do
mean-
when they do their set, it's just two guys. It's a guitarist and a bassist, and they have like just a drum machine, and they dress up in full ghillie suits, and they'll have like all the lights off in a venue, and they'll have a lamp on, but they're not near the lamp. So like the lamp,
Are
it's
they
like in the
moths?
middle of the floor. So like the lamp, no, they're in ghillie suits. They're hiding. So like they'll start playing, but they're like in the fucking, you know, and it's just the most chaotic. It's almost like industrial metal meets like hardcore music. It's really fucking weird. But yeah, it's like the shittiest lamp they put in the middle of the floor, and like you know the
it's a
crowd's
red
all
herring.
around.
I like
It's a distraction.
that you have explained the lamp to me more than the music.
I don't think you want to hear the music, honestly. I'm trying to help
Do
you.
I want to look at the lamp? Why are you bringing it up if I don't
I'm
want
trying to
hear
explain the
music?
show. Fucking listen, guys.
This whole thing is falling apart.
Yeah, because they're in the crowd playing, like
okay.
they're in their ghillie suits, like with their instruments playing, like, and they eventually like form in the middle, and the crowd gets around them. But like they start their set like that, like there's just a lamp, and you really don't know where they're at.
just the
Because the
crowd
fucking lights are off,
circling
and then they
lamp.
just start fucking
Dude,
playing.
all right,
Yeah.
so here's the thing. I'm going to notice a fucking giant bush in the middle of a fucking venue. Like,
Especially if he turns
that's
on-
moving.
The videos I seen, like they turn all
Someone
the lights.
drugged me.
Yeah.
Someone drugged me.
Especially
Again.
if the bush turns on a lamp.
That's true.
Or the guy carrying a fucking guitar in the crowd.
I'm checking
There's
this.
so
I'm
many
checking
things
this
wrong
out.
with this.
It's Blackwater. What?
Blackwater
See,
Sniper.
this is like
Blackwater Sniper?
this is when
Yes.
I'm picking apart Star Wars. You guys are just picking apart an actual band that does
You
things.
did it. No. Hold the fuck up.
All
You
we
did
know-
not. Shut the fuck up. You did not pick apart Star Wars. You had a bunch of fucking ill thought out.
I'm finding
You-
flaws.
Shut the fuck up.
Because we vanished into thin air when we die, apparently.
Yes! That's what happens in that universe! You say it like it's weird to happen in that universe! It's a story point! You didn't pick apart Star Wars, you mentioned a bunch of shit you didn't understand!
I think I found some flaws.
No, you failed to understand.
All right,
You failed to understand some
I'm
shit.
gonna end this episode here.
Hell yeah.
We killed John. John's dead.
Motherfucker!
Ben is having an
Hell
ulcer.
yeah. That's what I'm
Or gaining an ulcer at least. So we're gonna end this episode.
just gave Ben a
Stay
hemorrhoid.
tuned for our next. Stay tuned for our next Star Wars episode. They'll be coming out in May. Should be coming out May the 4th ish. So stay tuned for that. If you want to hear more of this conversation, there will be more. I guarantee it. Anywho. Thank you for listening to this episode of Prior Touch Podcast. So do us a favor, give us a like and a share on your favorite social medias and your favorite place to listen to your podcast at. We appreciate the support, and we'll be back again. I appreciate Ben and John again for coming through and sharing with us their knowledge and everything else that they decided to share.
I wouldn't classify that as knowledge.
Whatever else that was. Anyways, we appreciate you guys coming through. We appreciate guys, the listeners at home or in your cars, wherever you're at listening to us. We appreciate you guys as well. Thank you for the support. And we'll catch y'all next time. Y'all be cool.
Thanks, guys.